Hi guys, it's Aegis here. So today I'm here with another deck profile, and it's with Stoicheia. So of course we still have two builds, and I'm going to cover both of them, and they probably will also have some variants if I can find them. But the ones that I'm going to feature today is Zorga. So it's the Alchemagic deck. So it's relating with orders, some interesting plays with a cost of losing a lot of defensive power. But we can go through this and see what this deck is good at and it's not good. What is not good at. So the right line is Zorga, the Dragon, the Chain, and of course a Great Zero. That is whatever you want. So why I'm choosing these lines is because one, we don't quite have a choice right now, but two is this chain is actually quite strong with this deck. So Great Zero, it doesn't matter with the chain. Whenever you put him on, it's actually an active skill. So you Soul Blast 1, you draw 2 cards, and then you choose to discard up to one of your order cards, or just 2 cards from your hand. So normally what we do is we will draw 2 and then discard the order. Which the dragon, when you ride on top as a Vanguard, will have you get a order back, normal order back. So you can't get your Blitz order, but at least you can get your normal order that you ditch with this card. So let's explain the dragon, and what the chain can also do is same with the dragon. Whenever you play a order card during your turn, they get power up. So since you Soul Blast quite a bit with this deck, so even if they are just the right line, you can still Soul Blast them later and call them back to be good attackers or booster. So one little note with riding your chain is that because you always want to discard an order, so you gain 1+, so you Soul Blast 1 to draw 2 and then ditch 1. Well, which is kind of actually 2 for 2, but it's better than go for 2 for 3. So you losing 3 cards, just getting 2 cards back. So what we usually do when we look at a mulligan is we always, if you don't see order, just shuffle your whole hand, draw another 5, because those 5 cards are at the bottom of the deck when you mulligan. So you basically have a kind of a higher chance to meet your orders, because we have a 46 deck, we draw 5, so that's only 41 cards, and from there we put a lot of orders in, so it's easier to get them. Yeah, so explain the right chain, and let's go into the actual main deck. Now, Game Freeze, simple, just for extra Zorga, because what you want to do is personal ride as much as you can. And I do see people use the dragon, but I personally don't like it for a few reasons. One, I'm playing a deck very heavy on using orders, so those already don't have guard values, and if I use the dragon as well, I'm just even losing more guard values. So to me, it's not that worth for the 5k, but if you like it, of course you can go for that route. And what Zorga does is, of course, Alchemagic, which is, if you don't know what it is when you play a normal order, then you can choose from your drop zone another normal order that is not the same name with the card that you are playing at the moment, and Alchemagic them, which is combining the cost first. So you have order A and order B. Say this one requires you a counter blast, this one requires you a Soul Blast, and then they do their stuff. So when you do your Alchemagic, you first play your normal order, and then select another normal order that is not the same with the order that you're playing, and you bind it. Then after that, and you of course pay the cost together, and then the order that you remove or bind, the effects will add the extra at the below of the order that you're playing, and what you have to do is to go through in sequence that the order you play, the effects go first, and then go for the second one. But cost you pay them at the same time. So that's something you really need to look for, and don't just do your Alchemagic and say use the one that is binded effects first, because that is not how it plays. You need to actually go for the order effects that you play first, and then go for the one that you binded. Yeah. But doing that, you actually, instead of playing one order, you are like kind of always get to play two orders at the same time, because for normal orders and even blitz orders, we can only use one per turn. So no matter how many orders in your hand, you can only use one of the order in your turn. So being able to have two effects just in one card is quite big, but at the same time, of course, you need to pay double the cost, but I think it's totally worth it. And then his second skill is by counterblocking one, you can choose one of your unit in your drop zone and call it to Rigor Circle. Doesn't have to be empty circle, so you can call over something if you really need to. For example, if you have another Zorga on board, but you do want a better attacker or something, then you can simply just call on top. That's fine. But usually we do have other plays, which I will explain to you in a bit when those cards coming up. Next, 4 of the Maiden Handrina. So this is the key to the deck. First, when she appears in a Rigor Circle, you can choose to ditch the top 3 cards of the deck to drop zone. Why are you doing that? Because you want to reborn something with Zorga, you want to have more order cards in your drop zone so you can do your Alchemagic. Because if you don't have anything in the drop when you play your normal order, you can't do Alchemagic. And to make your Alchemagic even more worth, her second skill is by retiring herself on the Rigor Circle, and during your turn, the next time you are going to play order cards as Alchemagic, you don't need to pay any Soul Blast cost at all. So that's really big, because we don't have a lot of chances to soul charge instead of just riding. Of course, we do have some other ways to do it, which we'll see in a bit, but it's not much. So being able to ignore the Soul Blast cost and do Alchemagic as you wish is really big. And she herself can simply be revived by Zorga, and you retire her to like basically do that every single turn. It's really big. So definitely a 4 off. And then 3 of the other maiden, which I think she is called Elenia. So she is kind of like Zorga, but you only can call grade 2 or lower, but in exchange, that unit that you call get 5k plus. So it's another way to help you clean some soul from your Vanguard that you can reuse, basically the right chain, so that you can have better attackers. But do know that once you use that soul, you might not have enough to use for your Alchemagic, so you need to be very careful. The timing to use, usually I use her for 1 early rush, like when I am at grade 2, which I already Soul Blast my grade 0, right? And I call her, I Soul Blast a chain, and I call a chain. So this will hit 10, this will hit 18. If you're going first, even they have to give you 15 to pass, 15 for no pass or over trigger to pass, and then 15 to guard. So that's some bigger numbers for your opponents to guard with. And it also don't forget that 5k, so it's actually hitting for 23, so 15k is not enough actually. Yeah, which is very nice. But again, she uses quite a lot of just soul value, so do use her carefully. And then I'm running 2 of the dragons. so a total of 3 dragons, just to have some good and easy 15k attackers. Nothing too much there, because once you play him as a rear guard, you don't get to pick up your order, mainly for the 5k plus, and this deck really requires you to have some free power-ups, and while it's not exactly free, but your aim is to play order every single turn, so that 5k should come along and shouldn't be too hard to achieve. And then we get to our great ones. 3 of the Mattis, I want to run 4, but I don't have much space, so I'm going for 3. And you basically can reborn a unit every single turn usually. So it's basically, with combining with Zorga, is a counterblast to reborn this to your board, so you get +1, and you also give another unit 5k. So again, power adjustment. Even if you can't just use your order to get 5k, you can still put the 5k there to make it stronger. And then 4 new PGs, because they are just good. Yeah, nothing too much to say about the PGs. So we have gone through all of the normal units already, and let's go over the order that you are going to use every single turn and what's good or bad about that. So first, 4 of the Great Despair and Rejection. So this is basically a counterblast for a front trigger, kind of like that, because you can choose 3 of your units to plus 10k if your Vanguard is Zorga, which you will be, whatever, because it's a grade 3 order, so you can play it early, and once you get to grade 3, the grade 3s that we are using are only Zorga, so no matter what, this will be active. Just that simple. Because there are times that you can't personal ride, which we'll know very soon, or sometimes you just don't draw your Zorga at all. So this really helps to at least pump your Vanguard to 23k, and then your other attacking lines, usually you can hit 23, so being able to pump them to 33k takes your opponents to use at least 25k to guard, so that's quite big, given that we only have like 5k or 15k shield value normally. That's really helpful, and that's why we are running 4. And then 2 of these, the Curse Soul Wiggles in Agony. This is an order that can do so well and also can do so bad. I was running like 3 to 4 before, but I really don't find this order say amazing. It's good, but it's not amazing. So what this order does is by Soul Blasting 2, which you can use her to cut that Soul Blast cost, and then you look at the top 4 cards of the deck and choose up to 1 of your unit card, call the Real Circle, and drop the rest to the drop zone. But if you are actually using Alchemagic, so no matter you play this order and Alchemagic with another card, or you use other card and Alchemagic with this card, both works. Instead of calling 1, you call 2. And for the turn, the units that you are called by this order will get 5k. So sounds really nice, right? But what I always face is like, I don't get top 4. What I see are triggers, Zorgas that I actually want to ride, and order cards, because we run a lot of orders. So sometimes that really hurts, because you can call 1 to 2, but the rest must go to the drop. So of course, if you hit orders, you can be prepared for Alchemagic next turn. But when you see a like open top 4 and you see 4 of their triggers, yeah, you can make them a 10k boost, but that hurts. So not running too much. And Soul Blast 2 actually costs quite a lot if you don't have your Maiden here. Yeah, so we do have better options, and that's the amount that I'm going to run for. If you really want to use more, feel free to, but personally I prefer less. Okay, and then next I am running the order card tiering Mattis. So this is something that I played at 2 and I choose to use 1, not because it's bad, but I do want to have a little bit of space of trying something else. So if you do want to, feel free to use 2, and I suggest you to use 2. You use 2 as well if you can find space. So what this order does is by retiring 2 of your regards, then you can play this card, draw 1 card, put this card in your soul, and countercharge 1. So just by doing this, retiring 2 of your regards, you get to countercharge, you get to soul charge, you get to draw a card, and for free, as in counterblast and soul blast cost. Because this deck uses a lot of soul blast, uses a lot of counterblast. Being able to do that is really helpful, and even this card, for some reason, go to your damage and go to the drop when you heal. Once you use Alchemagic, you can give these effects to the order that you pay. For example, this one. Then you can first give 3 units 10k, and then draw 1 card, put the order that you play because it's copy the skill, go to the soul and countercharge 1. So no matter what, this order won't hurt you. But the only thing that worries me a lot with this order is I have to kill 2 of my stuff. If I can't make myself reborn them, that's going to hurt. For example, this, because this gives 3 of your units 10k and this kills 2 of your units. So if you only have 3 units, you give 3 of them 10k and you need to kill 2. So this is the part that hurts you the most. But if you are like kill 2 first and then born 2 back, I think that's fine. So I'm only running 1 to 2 just in case I need, but usually I am fast enough to kill my opponents, or my opponents is fast enough to kill me. So yeah, just a backup, but it's a very good card. Now next is the key order, I think, is the spiritual body condensation. So this, why it is the key, is because 1 is a grade 1 order, so you can even use it at grade 1, you can use it from grade 2. By soul blasting 1, call a unit that has a grade that is the same or lower as your Vanguard, and then get plus 5k. So it's kind of like this maiden here, but you only need to soul blast 1. And your resources is basically your right line, or anything that you soul charge afterwards that can go to the drop, or they already existed in the drop. And for example, since we use this order to put another order into the soul, you can soul blast that order to be ready for Alchemagic next time. And the simple plus 5k is really good. So you can basically just mix these 2, call a unit, get plus 5k, and then give the whole board like the 3 of your units 10k. Then you can do some massive attacks. And then one of the base order, Ghost Chase. This is something that I'm testing, and this is the reason why I'm cutting the Mattis into 1. Of course, if you are planning to play a longer game, you should actually use like 2 to 3 at least. But I'm also playing a fast game, so this is something for testing. And I find this card with potential, which the skill is by choosing 1 of your unit plus 5k, so it's kind of like a 5k shield, and choose 1 of your unit that is not being attacked and add it to your hand. And why I'm using this card is mainly because of this grade 3 order, because I do have chances to call a Zorga, because I'm looking top 4 cards from my deck and call stuff from them, not like this, I call from drop, or not like Zorga himself, call from drop. So what if I really call a Zorga? And next turn, if my Zorga is not being attacked, I play Ghost Chase, +5, probably Combat Vanguard, and then choose the Riga Zorga into my hand, and next turn I can personal ride. And even if you get yourself a over trigger from your order, you can, or just other triggers, you can still bounce them back to your hand so that you can have extra shield value, which can help you survive, basically. Yeah. So that's the number of orders that I'm playing. So it's 4, 7, and 11. So that's quite a bit of orders. Some people aim for like 12, 13, 14, but I really don't want to drop my shield value that much, and you can see it make that content is actually quite less already, and that's also showed you why I'm not running the dragon, the Great Free Dragon, because these already don't have shield value. So yeah, and these ones, if you recycle them well, they hit key numbers, and you just need to pump them up with this and just find your stuff from here, then that should be right. That should be okay. So going over the triggers, over trigger, of course, being able to do a lot of things. First, draw 1, give your one of your unit +1 crits, being able to give your front row unit 10k, so it's like a front trigger as well. Then if you have more or the same damage as your opponents, you can heal one, so it's a heal. It's basically a crit trigger without power, front trigger, and heal trigger without 10k, and then 100 million. So do a lot of things, but don't rely on this card at all, because even if you don't rely on over trigger, you can still hit good numbers. But of course, if you open a over trigger for your defensive, survive for a turn, or just when you drive check you get it and make your attack even bigger, that's great. But we don't need this card to win, just a good to have. And again, this order might call your over trigger out, and that's why you need the Ghost Chase to pick it back up. And the rest of the triggers are 7 crits, 4 draws, and 4 heals. So draws, because I want to keep increasing my hand size, so instead of 3 draws I'm running 4 draws. And since I'm hitting quite big already, so crit trigger is there for me to push more, then heal is heal. Yeah. So that's it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoy it, and let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.